Welcome, you're on VITV with Into Vietnam. In the next 15 minutes, we will be updated on business events around the country, and here are the headlines. Experts contributed ways of improving economic policies and boosting Vietnam's economy in 2014-2015. The State Bank of Vietnam estimates total lending of the whole banking system to expand 11 to 12% this year. Half of the enterprises surveyed by World Invest-based Vietnam still reserve about the business prospects. The State Bank of Vietnam held the conference Recommendations on Economic Policies and Regulating the Monetary Markets between 2014 and 2015, where local and international experts contributed ways of improving economic policies and boosting the economy in the period.
Mr. Samit Dutra, General Director of the HSBC Vietnam, says the current tough economic condition in Vietnam is attributed to the heavy dependence on credit, with lending growing 35 to 55% in 2007-2010 period. This has caused bubbles in the realty market and turbulences in the stock market, pushed up inflation, and as a result, a lot of companies were in hardships and went bankrupt. After some time of implementing tighter and more flexible monetary policies, Vietnam has seen improvements in the economy, with forex reserve rising 200% in the past 2 years, and by August, Vietnam dong became the third most stable currency in Asia. The HSBC also estimated Vietnam GDP to grow by 5.4 to 5.8% in 2014-2015 period. Notably, GDP per capita will hit $1,923 per person, $2,164 in 2014 and $2,458 in 2015. The bright point is Vietnam forex reserve, which will increase by $5 billion per year and hit $40 billion in 2015. Foreign exchange rate will be kept stable at 21,500 dong per US dollars, and the basic rate will be 7%. Experts recommended the government should not loosen the monetary policies, as it may trigger economic turmoil, affecting the target of control inflation. Moreover, the State Bank of Vietnam is advised not to plan the credit growth target of 13 to 15%, but at the modest level of 10%. Government agencies and banks instead should focus on narrowing the gap between the lending and deposit interest rates.
In its report to the National Assembly, the SBV said total lending of the whole banking system expanded by 7.18% as of the end of October. Although the figure is much lower than the target of 12% for the whole year, it's far higher than the growth of 3.54% in the same period last year.
The central bank says lending in banks has been focused more on prioritized sectors. According to the State Bank Governor, credit often sees a surge in the final quarter of the year, which is illustrated by the growth of 9.13% in 2010, 5.44% in 2011, and 6.01% in 2012. Basing on the credit growth in the past years and the effectiveness of measures by the State Bank, the SBV affirmed Vietnam will realize the credit growth target of 12% this year. Data of the central bank showed by the end of October, under the Realty Bailout Fund plan, commercial banks in Vietnam have committed to offer loans to 939 individuals with 325 billion dong, 920 of whom has been disbursed with total outstanding loans of 221 billion dong. 7 institutional customers got loans worth 870 billion dong. 4 of them have been disbursed with 91 billion dong.
HSBC, in its Vietnam macroeconomics report, predicted that weak domestic demand and benign oil prices would keep inflation low until year-end, staying at around 6.6%. The bank says that one of the risks to inflation in the coming months will likely come from rising food prices, which saw a sharp uptick in October to 4.1% year-on-year, versus 3.5% in September. HSBC expects a gradual rise in food inflation, especially towards year-end and the Tet Festival. However, inflationary pressures will likely be contained thanks to low global commodity prices. According to the report, the sluggish domestic demand also keeps inflationary pressures in check. While the export sector is feeling a boost from external demand, the domestic sector is still affected by a frozen banking system, which dampens appetite for consumption. Around half of 122 enterprises surveyed by the credit rating firm World-Based Vietnam or WVP are still reserved about the business prospects, although business conditions have improved compared to 1 year ago.
The survey conducted between late September and mid-October is meant to build the business confidence index for the third quarter. The respondents were from 11 different business sectors, and half of them represented small and medium-sized enterprises. Half of the respondents said the overall business environment improved compared to 1 year ago, while 35% said it was unchanged and 15% said conditions worsened. Some 63% of respondents predicted the business outlook would be better, while only 2% were concerned about the future. Some 57% of prone enterprises said they would maintain the current workforce, while 36% said they would recruit more and 7% said they would lay off workers in the next 12 months. The WVP report indicates that enterprises still find access to bank loans restricted due to the lack of access for collateral through interest rates have been slashed. In addition, difficulties in finding outlets for products coupled with concern over the return of high inflation have deterred enterprises from expanding operations.
And following are import-export activities.
The General Department of Vietnam Customs said Vietnam was estimated to have incurred a trade surplus of $10 million in October. In details, the country was estimated to earn $12.61 billion from exports in October, increasing 12.8% on month, while it spent $12.51 billion to buy goods and services, increasing 11%, resulting in a trade surplus of $10 million. In January-October period, the Southeast Asian country was estimated to have reaped total $108.72 billion from exports, making a year-on-year increase of 16% in absolute value, while the country was estimated to have spent total of $108.87 billion to buy goods and services, making a year-on-year increase of 15.9% in absolute value. The country's exports dived in the period were mobile phones and accessories, garment and textile, crude oil, seafood, computers, electricity products, and spare parts. The country's key import items in the period were machineries, equipment, and spare parts, clothes, steel, and crude oil.
The development of the Internet is paving a lot of opportunities for businesses to promote and introduce their image and products to partners and consumers. Today, booming social networking sites have become a fertile ground for businesses to exploit the advantages of communication to sell products to numerous consumers. However, like a double-edged sword, social media advertising could be a risk for businesses if not controlled. More in the following story. Speaking of social networking sites, Facebook is probably the first name to be mentioned in the online community. Therefore, for a few years recently, Facebook has become a media medium being used by many companies to advertise their products to consumers. Taking the advantages of social networking sites which are wide and quick connection and two-way communication, businesses can interact with customers.
Hiện tại là Facebook mới announce là họ mới công bố là họ có đến 18 triệu người dùng Internet Việt Nam, tức là nó phủ đâu đó phải hơn 50% thị phần, 50% người dùng Internet là có account và tài khoản Facebook. Thì cái xu hướng quảng cáo trên các mạng xã hội cũng như là các xu hướng có những cái chiến dịch quảng cáo, những campaign quảng cáo truyền thông trên mạng xã hội mà cũng là một xu hướng mà khách hàng Việt Nam đang lựa chọn rất là nhiều, đặc biệt là doanh nghiệp vừa và nhỏ có cái ngân sách marketing vừa phải. Tại vì chỉ với ngân sách marketing rất là thấp nhưng mà khách hàng họ có thể hoàn toàn tiếp cận với những cái khách hàng mục tiêu qua cái kênh mạng xã hội rất là rộng lớn của Facebook.
One of the popular models for building up image on social networking sites is a fan page. The benefit of using a fan page is that it can help businesses spread information and receive feedbacks at the same time. Unlike traditional communication methods focusing on one-way communication, social networking sites do not only help spreading information about products in the community, but also help businesses listen to customers to make timely adjustments to suit their needs. However, this is also a double-edged sword, as customers' negative or positive feedbacks about the products and services are displayed at a rapid pace. If service providers does not timely address to the negative feedback, it is very risky.
Một cái người dùng Facebook ấy, họ có đâu đó khoảng 300 bạn bè thôi, đây là số ít thôi, hoặc là thậm chí có nhiều người dùng là có tới max 5.000 bạn bè ở trong danh sách của họ, thì chỉ cần một cái complaint về dịch vụ của một cái nhãn hàng nào đó, đặc biệt là cái nhãn hàng lớn, ví dụ như là Air Assurance hay là Vietjet Air, họ chỉ complain là tại sao hôm nay chất lượng dịch vụ quá tệ, hoặc họ chụp một cái ảnh về việc là họ những cái người về việc delay máy bay, những cái người la liệt đang ngồi chờ, và ngay lập tức họ post lên cái Facebook của họ ngay lúc mà họ chờ, thì lập tức là rất nhiều bạn bè họ, thậm chí 5.000 người sẽ biết về cái thông tin đấy. Tức khả năng lan truyền của thông tin nó rất là nhanh. Thì đấy vừa là điểm mạnh nhưng cũng vừa là phải nói là nếu mà người doanh nghiệp Việt Nam mà không biết xử lý khủng hoảng cũng như không biết tận dụng những cái thế mạnh của internet để giải quyết những vấn đề tương tự như vậy, thì cũng là một cái thiệt hại rất là lớn.
In addition, the quality of information advertised on social networking sites as well as online advertising methods are also big questions when a series of published information is updated by internet users every second or minute. But who guarantees that information is true? The quality of products and services advertised is consistent with the advertised image and content. In fact, a number of consumers were disappointed after shopping online.
Thể hiện một cái thông tin là giữa cái việc đăng tải một thông tin và việc là chịu chứng thực về cái trách nhiệm bảo đảm cái thông tin về bán hàng, về quảng cáo, về chất lượng hàng hóa trên một website ấy, thì chúng ta chưa có ranh giới rõ ràng. Bởi vì là nếu xét theo quy định pháp luật thì thường là cái quy định nó dành cho những cái người kinh doanh hàng hóa dịch vụ, nhưng mà cái người cho thuê cái gian hàng để mà công bố thông tin trên internet ấy, thì thực ra hoạt động đấy chúng ta cũng chưa điều tiết được rõ. Thế thì chúng ta thấy rằng là với những cái hoạt động như vậy ấy, thì để bảo đảm cái tính chuyên nghiệp cũng như minh bạch cũng như là cái tính chịu trách nhiệm trong trường hợp gây ra thiệt hại cho doanh nghiệp thông qua hoạt động thông tin quảng cáo ấy, thì doanh nghiệp cũng nên lựa chọn những cái đối tượng cung cấp các dịch vụ quảng cáo ấy, có đầy đủ chức năng cũng như là kiểm tra những cái khâu về thủ tục giấy phép để cho bảo đảm cái tính hợp pháp và hợp lý, phòng khi những cái trường hợp rủi ro xấu xảy ra.
With the booming demand of internet using and internet access devices these days, social networking sites have increasingly profound impact on people's information activities. However, a negative aspect of this form of communication which tend to spread widely and dangerously is unguaranteed information, which is likely to make harm to business reputation. Therefore, by using social networking sites for promotion, businesses should not only provide good products, but also adequate services and customer care. And before we go, let's check out the update of gold prices, forex, and stock markets. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for your attention. And now from everyone on the team, have a lovely day. Bye-bye.